For the most part of my career, the last 8 years, I've been working remotely, and after a long period of working from coffee shops and other rather uncomfortable places, I finally understood the importance of a dedicated and comfortable workspace. And over the last few years, I've built something like this, which I want to show to you today. And the reason I'm making this video is because I enjoy watching these videos myself, and I always try to find something useful for my desk setup and ways to improve my home office and working from home experience. So hope you enjoy. So welcome, and let's begin the tour. The room itself is quite small. I think it may be 3 by 4 meters, maybe a bit less, so like 10 to 12 square meters or 100 square foot if you're American. And the centerpiece of the room is the workspace. So let's start with that. The desk is a Flexispot seat stand desk with electric motors to bring it up and down. I bought it maybe 3 years ago, and I was expecting that I would be a very productive person and a healthy person working standing up, but I didn't really get it. I tried many times, but for the last 2 years it's been basically in this normal seated position, so it didn't really do anything for me. In terms of the build quality itself, the desk is great, no issues with electric motors, but there are 2 things that I really dislike about it. First one is the size. When I bought the desk, I didn't have the monitor, I was working on a laptop, so it was fine, but now with a kind of a big monitor, especially the monitor has a large stand that moves the screen closer to my eyes. It's too close. So the depth is 60 centimeters. I will put it down how many inches it is. So 60 centimeters is too little for this kind of monitor. I would prefer to have at least 75 to 80. I just haven't get around to buy the new desk. And the second thing is it's matte black, which was a horrible decision. As you can see, it's really easily leaves fingerprints here and also dust. So the desk was wiped clean less than a day ago. It's already all dusty. It's impossible to keep it clean, unfortunately. So the black is a big no-go. Moving on, the next important thing, one of the most important things in the desk setup is the chair. Some of you may recognize this. This is a Herman Aeron chair, one of the most famous designs for office desk chairs. One of the most comfortable ones, won a lot of awards, and I can totally get why. It is really comfortable. Once you set it up correctly, you can move it in a bunch of the directions and set it up perfectly to fit you. My back didn't hurt once in the 3 years I've been using this chair, and overall I can really recommend it if you're looking for something comfortable. Also a tip, the chair itself is quite expensive. I think in retail it costs maybe like $1,500 to $2,000, which is a lot for an office chair. But in almost any major city, like here in Dubai, you can look it up on local marketplaces and find something used but in great condition from closed down offices. So this one costed me maybe 2,000 dirhams, so like 500, 600 bucks, which is, in my opinion, a fair price for this, and for 500-600 bucks, this is really a great buy. However, I would like to change it just because of the looks of it. It's a bit too corporate vibe for me, and for the home office, I would probably like to switch it up for something more cozy feeling. Other than that, chair is great. Then moving to the desk, the centerpiece of the setup is the monitor, which is Apple Studio Display. This is the version with tilt and height adjustable stand with a regular glass, not the nanotexture one. Even though I have direct sunlight coming here, I am not really bothered by the glare. I still prefer the colors on the non-nanotexture one. This is why I went with a base glass version. For the stand, it is really useful. In my opinion, you should, if you're getting this monitor, get it with a height and tilt adjustable stand, because there is no point in having expensive and comfortable chair if you would still be at an uncomfortable angle looking at the monitor. You need to also set it up to fit you perfectly. For the monitor itself, it is, in my opinion, a great piece of hardware. I was on the fence of buying it for quite some time because it is overpriced. It is what it is. But the build quality, the screen itself, it is amazing. And the second thing that was bothering me is the 60 Hz refresh rate coming from the MacBook. I think it may feel like a downgrade, but to be honest, it didn't really bother me after 1 or 2 days. And there's a good quote: quality is remembered long after the price is forgotten. So I was on the fence of spending $2,000 on a monitor for a few months, and then finally did it, and I forgot the price in a couple of days. But I've been enjoying this monitor for 2 years now, and I spent most of my days here staring at this monitor, so I think it's well worth the investment. And my work, it's heavily involved in looking at designs, Figma screens. Let me show you. And if your work is somehow design related, you look like at marketing creatives, app design, web design, photography, videography, this monitor is well worth it. Moving on, the next thing on the desk is the MacBook that is powering the setup. This is quite an old machine. This is 2021 MacBook Pro, 14-inch M1 Pro chip. So I've had it for almost 5 years since they came out. I'm really hoping to stretch it till the next generation, the new design comes out, because performance-wise, it's been great. Apple really outdone themselves. There is not much point in upgrading. Two things I'm struggling with: the battery is almost dead on this one, and yeah, I need to bring it to the service if I decide to keep it for half a year more, because now it dies in like 3 hours, and before it was like 10-15 hours, so like easily the whole day on battery. And the second thing is the RAM. Now I've been doing a lot of stuff with Cloud Code, and 16 gigabytes, this is the base version, is really not enough. I would now go for 24 at least, or higher. Other than that, great machine, like basically any M chip MacBook. The peripherals, which are really basic, this is the Apple Magic Keyboard, US style with a horizontal enter. I'm really used to it, and I think it's just much more comfortable to type on. I tried mechanical keyboards, I tried many things, but for me this is just the most comfortable keyboard to type on ever, and the Touch ID is a nice touch. And Apple Magic Trackpad. I don't really use the mouse. I do a lot of gestures in my workflow, so it doesn't really make sense to use a mouse. This is a really comfortable setup for me. These are the last generation with the USB-C, so I don't have to keep the lightning cable around. The next thing is the microphone and the arm. So the microphone is Shure MV7, which is I'd say a base model, the baby version of the famous podcast mic SM7B or something like this. The reason I bought this one and not the big brother of it, at the time I purchased it, maybe also like 3 years ago, there was no USB version for the better microphone. And this was the only one that was working through the USB cable. And I didn't really want to place a sound card on my desk and have one more device, and it would also cost like 3 times as much. I've been really happy with the quality of this one. It's also held up really well. I've brought it with me while traveling. No issues, really good. Worked with USB, plug and play. And the arm it's sitting on, this is an Elgato, I think, low profile microphone arm. It's kind of an unusual design because it doesn't go high vertically. It stays low, which looks good on camera, which we'll talk about in a minute. And also it's really convenient to just slide it to the left when I'm not using it. So arm also can recommend. I think it may be like $50. Money well spent. Next thing is the camera. I almost always keep it here for 2 reasons. First of all, this is the camera I film most of my YouTube videos on, almost all of them. And the second thing is, as you can see, it's connected via the USB-C cable to the computer. So I use it for Zoom calls with clients. Most of my work is remote. Most of my meetings are on Zoom. So having a proper audio and video setup is a good way to differentiate yourself from a lot of other guys that your clients are probably also working with. Have a bit of a wow moment for your setup. So how I usually do calls, I just open the laptop here. I put Zoom on here, Figma on here, or something like the notes I might have for the call. So I look at the camera and I see the person here, and I have quite a nice view from the camera here. So this is roughly what the person sees on the call. The next thing is the lighting. This is an Elgato key light LED panel, which is small and kind of lightweight, and I bought it many years ago. I was actually gifted it many years ago while traveling, and it was really useful to just put it in a suitcase, but there's no point in having it in a permanent office setup like this one. I just haven't got around to change it to something better. Would not really recommend if you don't need to take it with you. And the arm, you can see, it's just a part of a camera desk mount that I use to shoot some overhead shots, which you've probably seen in the beginning of the video. This is just a lamp with a Nanoleaf bulb inside, which is controlled through HomePod and Apple Home. So I can control all the lighting in the house through Siri. Moving on, this is a funny one. This is a walking pad, which you can activate through the app and get some steps in, which is quite useful. Living in Dubai, it is pretty hot. Now it's April 21st and it's already 34 degrees. So it's a limited time you can walk outside and you need to get your steps in for health reasons. And I use it quite a lot in between the calls. Sometimes when I'm watching something like a podcast, I can get some steps in. So this is a really nice addition if you're living in a non-walkable city, which is the usual case for the UAE and also United States. This I can recommend. And this is the new edition. This is the iPad Pro M5, which got delivered this morning, so I don't really have an opinion on it. This is my fifth maybe iPad I'm trying out, and then I don't have a use case for it actually. But for now, I decided that I would try to use it as a kind of mirror board slash sketchbook for the YouTube videos, and it would be fun to draw something around while I'm recording. And the back is mostly a decor wall. It's a shelving unit, 3 shelving units combined from IKEA without the back wall, so they look quite decent. I have some camera lenses, some recent books, a few more phones with other SIM cards, and the Android phone, which I used to test the apps we do on Android. This is the Nothing Phone 1, kind of a garbage phone, which is the point to test it on a slow old device to see how the apps would behave for this kind of users also. And another light source, just an IKEA like $8 sphere with a Nanoleaf bulb inside. That is basically the setup. Hope you guys enjoyed.